Yes. Welcome to my theme park, my fellow gamers. We're covering this wonderful retro game called Theme Park. This classic theme park simulator from 1999 took the best from its predecessor, but updated the graphics for the next generation of gaming at the time. Now, what's really interesting about this game is that
It seems that you're taking a little too long to get this video started and have already lost half of your audience. Maybe try speeding up the intro or not having it at all?
Hey, listen, you little ant. You know I could squish you just like that, right?
Ah, you know what they say.
It's time to game on, fellas.
What the fuck?
Yes. Welcome back to another episode of Watersurf's Gaming Hour. This is the series where I take a look at games I own physically and or digitally. For the 15th episode of the series, we are looking at one of my childhood classics, Theme Park, aka Theme Park World. This is a theme park management simulator that released for Windows PCs in late 1999, but also got ports to both the PS1 and PS2, as well as Mac OS in the 2000-ish area. For this episode specifically, we are going to be looking at the original Windows PC release, that is the North American one, with some minor modifications to get it working on modern hardware.
Speaking of hardware, this game was a pain in the ass to get working on my rig back there. I did so many different things, from getting an old XP laptop to using a virtual machine to get this game to run, but it just happened to have some random luck from some random ass Reddit post that led me to a digital download of the game that just somehow had a patch to work on modern computers. Oof.
Technical issues aside, I played the hell out of this game when I was a kid. I remember playing this and Roller Coaster Tycoon a ton, but I like this one because it lets you walk around, your park, and ride all the rides from a first-person perspective. I also want to note that I'm also playing 75% of this game for the first time because my original childhood copy of the game was scratched up to all hell, and it would crash if I tried loading up any other of the worlds that wasn't the dinosaur one.
Boy, I can't wait to get into this new house.
Jokes aside, this game was a fairly basic theme park management simulator. You build the rides, you build the shops, and you build the other various theme park stuff in order to advance to get the golden keys to unlock the new parks. There are only 4 in this game, and we'll be covering each of them in a little bit. Now you may ask, what sets this game apart compared to the competition, Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Well, to answer your question, which one are people still talking about? Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is one of those niche games that got lost to time since the developer of the series ended up suffering the same fate that most publishers do under EA. Bullfrog Productions was one of the many developers that went defunct under this terrible company, and that's partially why you don't hear many people talk about this game under either one of its names. Seriously, go look up Theme Park or Theme Park World on YouTube and get back to me on how many results you find compared to RCT. I'm not saying Atari did a better job at preserving the legacy of that game than EA did for theirs, but still. I think what really sets this game apart though is the charming visuals and slight difficulty compared to the others in the genre. There is also the wildly outdated CGI openings of the game that just have the wacky expressions from the staff characters or the guests. You also had the weird humor from the advisor character, but this bro will be his own segment of the episode. I know this is also going to be a really wacky ass comparison, but the art style is something of its era that you saw in games like Xenogears, 2D sprites on 3D backgrounds. We are starting to see this style come back in a very unique way like we do with Octopath Traveler, or what they call the 2D HD style. But I felt like games from this era just are more like 2D SD, if you get what I mean.
You know what's really interesting about my green screen segments that I'm doing right here? I'm just a 2D video on a 2D image. But when I turn like this, you get this cool looking effect, like I'm moving in 3D, yet I'm 2D. Whoa, bro.
I honestly love this style of game, even if it's hella outdated. I mean, I made a joke about it earlier, but that's besides the point. Nostalgia aside, this game still sticks out to me because of my love of theme parks. I love theme parks. I used to work at a theme park. Hell, I'm covering a theme park game right now for the Gaming Hours series. Having the ability to make your own janky little coasters and then ride them cool as hell is still cool to me even 26 years after the game's release.
So, does that mean you're gonna cover Coaster Works for the Dreamcast next?
No.
Aw, man.
I think another charming thing about this game is just the various characters you have in this game. While all the guests are children wearing different colored clothing, the staff also stand out as well. You have the mechanics, the fat one and the skinny one, you have the various entertainers, and you even have in the menu the crazy ass face the researchers make when you put their little bar thing up. That's sorta cool, right? Wait, I think I know what that face really means.
Attention researchers, we want you to work double time to get out the new ride that's sort of similar to the ones you've already made, but different enough to seem unique. So get on it or you'll get the boot. Manager out.
Ah!
One last thing about the charming aspect of this game is just the overall vibe. It's relaxing enough to sort of just watch your theme park come to life, but it's also challenging enough to keep you on your toes and not let your park go bankrupt. I also love the fact that you have this camcorder mode that lets you walk around your park and just take in the environment. I know it just looks like a bunch of PNGs walking around you, which, I mean, cause it is, but it still feels alive. Everything is all in one motion, and it's epic, bro. Now let's get to work. Anyway, you can walk around, watch guests come into the park, and just watch the rides in motion above you.
I think this is the part where I finally move into the parks themselves. While there are only 4, they each bring some unique theming to the table. So, voiceover guy, that's your cue.
I see you're trying to segue into the part segment of this video. Maybe you should pay your editors a little more so they'll get the plot moving along.
Will you get out of here? Go on.
There are 4 parks in total. You start off with the 2 that require 1 key. The first one is Lost Kingdom, which takes the ancient dinosaur theme and mashes it with the temples of the Americas and such. The other 1 key park is Halloween World. Yeah, this one's just spooky theming, not really much else to explain here. Followed up is the 3 key park, which is Wonderland. This is the reality is crazy because you're small size and everything is big or whatever. Also candy, and it's just a wacky world or something. I don't know what else to tell you. And last but not least is the 5 key park of Space Zone. This is the one of the futuristic theming and it has all the space stuff in that one area. You more or less get the idea with each of these parks.
And the actual coolest theme park in this game is right here. It's Big Tony's theme park. That's me. That's the theme park that I made. Big Tony. It's the coolest theme park in the entire land. No, not really. It's kind of lame. Guards, take the shot.
I guess we'll start off with Lost Kingdom. This is the park that most will start off with since it's got a dinosaur in it. This is also the park that I'm most familiar with because it was the only one that worked for me as a kid. Aside from that point, you have this interestingly themed attractions like the snake slide, minecart roller coaster, and even a volcano that launches a platform into the air. The theming is on point with this one, and it really feels like a Lost Kingdom. Pun intended.
There wasn't really any pun there. That was just a lazy joke.
The other lazy thing is the segue into Halloween Park. This is a spooky ass park, bro. You got this bony ass coaster and this bony ass drop and this bony ass boner that this feet guy probably has from the Pump It Up episode. No, I ain't showing my feet in this episode. Stop asking. Aside from all of my jokes that tickle your funny bone, the rest of this park is spooky as hell. Don't even get me started on the ghost train. You have this scary skeleton and then you go into this ghost room only to be jump scared by a spider. I can't believe they let children play this game. So scary.
Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy 67 and we're doing the craziest, scariest ride in the world challenge. Let's go, come on. Bros, That was the scariest ride I've ever been on. I was so freaking scared.
I don't really have much else to say about that park. It's spooky, okay? But you know what isn't spooky? The Wonderland! This park is actually the first one that I almost lost on accident because I wasn't managing my money all that well. Aside from that, this park is probably the whimsiest out of all of them. The blimp ride is you riding on a bird. There is this giant apple where you ride on a caterpillar rushing through in and out of it. And you even have this flippin' flamingo ride. Like seriously, it's a flipping flamingo ride. It's dope. Last but not least is the Space Zone. I probably spent the least amount of time in this park, but I will say it is my favorite. But that's mainly because I like space and stuff. You know I like space because I got a lot of films that I've made over the past 2 decades that have been about space or going to space. So yeah, these coasters are cool as hell, the games are as cool as hell, and bro, a flying car tour ride? Hell yeah.
Well, that's probably going to be it for this episode of Watersurf Gaming App.
Ah, I see you're forgetting to talk about me. Maybe you should fix that before your bones break.
Oh, alright then.
Now, depending on the type of gamer you are, the little advisor character that pops up from time to time is the best or worst part of the game. You have the option to turn him off, but I felt like removing him is what makes this game lose a little bit of its charm, or just a lot of its charm actually. This little guy is probably the biggest reason I remember this game today. Him popping up and being like, hey, you just got a new ride. Or, hey, you're about to run out of money, you dumbass. I mean, he doesn't say that part, but he does get passive aggressive. I will also note that this is the American version of the game, so I'll only be covering the American voice actor for this segment, despite the funny as hell toilet segment for the European version.
Your toilets are getting pretty dirty, but you don't have any cleaners to clean them. Have you thought about hiring some?
Some little terrorist let off a stink bomb in there. I better get someone to clean that up before somebody gets sick. I ain't cleaning that.
I kid you not, that's actually one of the various lines that the advisor character says.
Some little terrorist set off a stink bomb in your park. You better get it cleaned up before people get sick, and you really have something to clean up.
Most of them are very safe, but there are a few that I was rehearing as an adult and I was like going, what the heck? Like this one about running out of money was also funny as hell.
You haven't had any cash for 5 months, and unless you're the government, you only have 1 more month to get your balance in the black before you go bankrupt.
Yeah, I was sort of caught off guard with that one. I did get to a point of the game, though, where the advisor became more annoying than helpful. Like, he gets really aggressive at certain points if you don't have your staff set to specific zones, or someone made a mess in the bathroom. Like, bro, I have more staff than guests in this park at this point. I'm sorry that the 1 square inch of path has litter on it. All the staff are resting right now. You don't want them to go on strike, do you?
Honestly, this little ant is cool, and I loved all the little costumes he wore in the various different parks and such. I wouldn't dare turn him off in any of my playthroughs. And I'm not just saying that because he has a gun pointed at me behind the camera. He's cool.
Oh, anyway, the only annoying thing is when you get the golden ticket in the game. It felt like it would be on screen for a hot moment, and that's where you're like hyper focused on something. But hey, thanks for that.
So I think we can all come to the conclusion that theme parks are as cool as hell. And theme park games such as this one are pretty epic. Now, my question is, what ride should I go on? Ayo, I recommend Big Tony's Cool Ride, the coolest ride in the entire park. That's why it's called Big Tony's Cool Ride. Oh, sweet. I'll go on that one then.
Oh, look out. A ride's about to break down. Take cover.
Oh yeah, Big Tony was supposed to pay his mechanics today. I didn't want to do that. Whoops. This is a really fun ride.
Oh no.
It looks like you're about to be sued by the US government. I would suggest take all the money you have in the bank and flee the country before the feds show up.
Yeah, Big Tony is way ahead of you.
Welp, that's going to be it for this episode of Watersurf's Gaming Hour. Sim Theme Park is a charming game, and is worth playing at least once if you're into the theme park simulators. While this version is a little hard to get working on modern PCs, unless you use mods to fix it like I did, there does exist a PS2 version of this game, or you could just play its predecessor on GOG. Unless, of course, this comes to GOG in the future because I now recorded this episode, and that's usually how my luck goes. But honestly, I'm not expecting it anytime soon.
Ugh, jeez Louise, man. I'm gonna need to go to the theme hospital after this. Am I right, gamers? That's not the next game we're gonna do to review, but I just thought it would be, funny to bring it up or neat or something.
I see you're trying to segue into the credits. Maybe you should have paid your editors a bit more for this to happen.
Maybe you should just shut the hell up. Roll 'em.